We are going to begin sewing here. We actually moved down to step 2 here because that's for view B, C, D, and E. It's the stay stitching of the upper edge, like so. Step 1 is for view A. It's same stay stitching, but you can see the arrow directions on that one. So going through here, you occasionally get where the directions will say for particular views. So we are on view E. So to begin stay stitching, we are going to take our skirt back and find the side seam. The center seam is the straight one going down. Coming from the side seam, I'm going to be stitching at 1/2 inch. Remember, your stay stitch should not show, so it should not go beyond your construction seam of 5/8. Make sure you are guiding on the 1/2 inch guideline, which should be one line to the left of your 5/8 line. Okay, clip your threads up when you are done stitching that, and then we will move on to the other skirt back. There are 2 backs to this. Again, finding the side seam and starting from the side seam and going towards the center back. And I am not back stitching at this point. I just want to prevent that stretching. Remember, especially with my fabric, it has a little bit of stretch in it, so we want to prevent as we construct any stretching to happen up in the kind of curved areas. So that is our skirt back being completed. Clip up those threads, starting threads and ending threads. It really makes construction so much neater and cleaner when you do it that way. And then our fabric here is the front piece. It has a center fold. I'm going to come from the side seam, again at 1/2 inch, stopping right at that center fold. Typically it's pretty obvious if your fabric has been folded in half for any length of time. It will have a natural little crease there. And then clip up the threads again at the start. And you're going to have to flip your fabric over to continue on your guideline. So flip it over, go over to the side seam of the other front edge, and sew that again at 1/2 inch. Then step 2 was telling us also to put the darts in. So it was multiple directions in one step. So you're going to fold your darts right along the center line. Make sure you pin through each leg of the dart. So there's one pin going up towards the point. Again, this is how I prefer to sew my darts. I prefer to start at the point and work my way to the top. And I pin right along the dart line so that I can kind of follow along the line and pull my pins out very easily since the points are going in that direction. I'll continue pinning all the darts on the skirt front. There are 2 in the front, just allow for any fullness through the stomach area. And then the back skirt pieces have 2 darts on each of those. Again, when you start, you need to find your point, move up about 2 stitch lengths. That is up away from the actual dart coming upward. Go right along that edge. I know some were struggling with that in the samples, so please work 2 stitches along that edge and then sew up towards the pin. You can see that one I backed out as I was stitching. I just let my finger kind of right along the ball of the pin and it pulled it out, so it holds it right in place till the very last second. All right, go back to the point. Hand tie your knot to close this up. Again, hand roll your needle to get that right into the very edge of the fabric. Don't try to guess it. Just use your hand wheel to roll that needle right down into there. Again, stitch right up to the top edge, pulling the pins out as you go. Do not hit a pin. And then back to the point and hand tie that knot again. These are our skirt back panels. There are 2 darts in each panel. Again, put your pins in along the leg of the darts, matching them up perfectly. Work your way towards the point. Pin all your darts. Okay, we're ready to sew again. Hand roll the wheel before you even put the presser foot down. Lower your presser foot and continue to sew. There are your darts. We're going to head over to the iron now. So I assume most of you don't own a pressing ham. Something you can sometimes find at a garage sale or the thrift stores, so kind of look for one. They're not expensive. But if you don't have that, take a towel and roll it up like so, and use that to create that contour. Remember, you just are trying to create a kind of rounded edge there. And then your darts are always going to press towards the center of the garment. So there's your hip, there's your center. The center is the straightish seam you'll see. And then push those darts over towards the center of the garment, like so. Again, I have kind of a polyester blend, and it doesn't take the press the best, so I've got to hit it pretty good with some steam. And then I'm going to flip it over here because sometimes you end up with those ridges, so don't do that. Give a little tension. I'm using my left hand to pull against the edge of the side of the fabric to kind of open that seam up. But if you look at those, you look at the darts there at the points, there's no dimple. It really goes down to absolutely nothing, and you want to have that for your construction quality. Okay, I'm going to move on to the ham. Ham definitely has a little more stability. So again, press them towards center. And that shows pretty well there that there is no dimple. And then the same to the front. These 2 darts will go towards the center front of the skirt. So pushing those over like so. And again, flip it over to make sure you do the other side.